Hey guys, welcome to the HomeTown Kitchen. Today I'm with Dana Clayton. Hey Dana.
Hey, how are you today?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good.
So what are we making today?
We are gonna make chicken dressing.
Yum. Okay, this looks amazing. The ingredients look incredible and I'm excited.
Me too.
Okay, what should we do first?
Preheat the oven to 350.
Okay, so how do we get started? What do we need first?
Well, first we're gonna need to get all of our ingredients together. Okay, so you're gonna have, in this recipe, you've got your shredded chicken, onions, chopped celery. We've got cream of chicken. Now this is what makes it really good.
Okay.
The cream of chicken is gonna make it really creamy, and I think that is one of the main differences in this recipe. That's what my family likes about it.
Cool. Now, quick question about the chicken. Do we have to buy it shredded or do you actually cook it? How do you do it?
No, this is what I really like to do because it makes the kitchen smell really good too. So when I go to work, you can put it in the crock pot and you cook it all day. And if you'll cook a whole hen, so you get all of that stock to put in your recipe, and it makes it really delicious. Our next ingredient, of course, you have to have cornbread. And I like to bake my cornbread in an iron skillet.
Yum.
Okay, do you know the secret to good cornbread?
No.
The sizzle.
Okay.
You have to have a very hot pan, and I cook it in an iron skillet. And if you put that oil in there and heat it as you're heating your pan, and I like to do it at 400 degrees.
Okay.
Once that timer goes off and the oven is heated, then your oil is heated, then you start mixing your cornbread. Always use buttermilk cornbread and buttermilk.
Got it.
Okay.
Helpful tip.
Okay, when you pour that in, you're going to hear the pan sizzle. That's what's going to give you this nice crunch on the outside. So if you see that nice crisp crunch on the outside, that's going to give you a lot of texture in your casserole. So then we take our chicken stock that we have left over. Now, if you don't have time to do that, or if that's not convenient for you, you can always use a rotisserie chicken.
Okay.
And you can purchase the chicken stock in a can from the grocery store.
Perfect.
Okay. We also add eggs. We've got our onions, our celery. We've got sage. We've also got milk. We've got our panko breadcrumbs. That's just going to give you a little bit more texture to it. Now, my grandmother always used stale biscuits, but now I've substituted panko for it because I don't cook biscuits at home very much. And we want to butter our pan.
Okay.
While you do that, I'm going to go ahead and start with the onion. The secret to not crying while you're cutting your onion is if you will put that onion in the refrigerator the night before, you're not going to have all the tears.
Wow.
Okay? What I like to do is you can either chop it to the piece size that you want, or you can put it in a food processor.
So Dana, why is this recipe special? Has it been in the family a while?
Well, it has, but when I was a little girl growing up, I always helped my grandmother cook. And she was a special lady. She lived across the street from us, so I spent a lot of time with her. And she's the one who let me experiment in the kitchen.
Oh.
And so she started baking it, and I would help her. But then as I got older, my husband, one of his favorites. So I just kind of tweaked it with some of her things that she did that were special. And then I added, of course, you got to throw in the Southern Living recipe. So this one I've just kind of tweaked. You can always tweak it however you want to. If you like a lot of sage in it, add more. If you don't, add less.
Okay.
I like it very sagey.
All right, so what do we do once the onions are chopped? I see we have celery too.
We do have celery. You want to chop that as well.
Okay.
And you can do this in the food processor as well. Again, you just don't want to chop it to mush. You want to have a little bit of texture in there. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to take and put in our skillet a stick of butter and go ahead and let that start melting.
And so what are we going to cook in here? Just the onions and celery?
We're going to cook the onions and celery. We're going to let those sweat down until they're translucent.
So is this the type of recipe you typically have leftovers, or does everyone crave it and eat it all at once?
So I make enough to take to 2 events and also put some in the freezer.
Okay.
So while that is cooking, we can go ahead and start mixing in our ingredients together. Now, there's no certain way to mix them together. Just start mixing them.
Perfect.
Here's another tip. You can always buy stale bread.
And just use bread.
And use bread or muffins. If you want to
good.
go by Charlie B's and pick up some leftover muffins, you can do that.
Sounds pretty good.
But that way I like to have a little bit of texture in there.
So you're doing kind of big chunks.
Big chunks.
Okay.
Hopefully it's all going to fit in there.
I have a feeling it will mesh together.
Okay, we'll go ahead and add our eggs in
Okay.
too. And this is something, if you like it to be a little bit eggier, you can add more.
It's just holding it together.
It's a binder. That's what's going to hold it together. Okay, we're going to add a little bit of black pepper. And again, you can do this to your liking.
I think I'm with you on the sage. That sounds
This is
really
our
good.
sage. I love sage. And I love the smell of it when it's cooking, especially on Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of the key ingredients is going to be your poultry seasoning. Your poultry seasoning is really going to give it that nice flavor that you really don't get from any other spice.
Okay.
We do have a cup of milk and our panko breadcrumbs. And if you don't have breadcrumbs, you can add any kind of other thing that you like. It's just all about texture.
Okay.
Okay, and then
the
there our
stock.
chicken stock. If you do cook your chicken in the crock pot, you always want to strain it.
Oh yeah, this is
This
gonna
is
work.
looking good. Let's check on our onions.
Yeah, how are those veggies?
They're coming along, not quite ready, but almost. You know, Katie, sometimes too, I've actually chopped up a Granny Smith apple and put in there too.
Wow.
So you can add anything you want to.
So is this version of chicken dressing perfect for your family? It's what everyone likes?
It is. Denny Kelly probably gave me the nicest compliment I've ever had. I made him some when he came home from the hospital. And when I took it to him, the next day he brought my pan back and he said, it's as close to my mama's chicken dressing that I've ever had.
Wow.
I'm telling you, that made my day.
Now you can't change the
That's
recipe.
exactly right.
The whole can?
The whole can.
The secret ingredient.
The
after
secret
all.
ingredient.
So who in the family looks forward to this dish the
My
most?
husband. Jim Ed Clayton loves dressing. So I guess you know what I have at home in the refrigerator for him when I get home tonight.
He is so
His
lucky.
own little pan of dressing.
Doesn't even have to be just for the holidays.
That's right. And you know, that's something that we do. I cook it all year. I don't just cook it at holidays. Okay, those are looking pretty good.
Okay.
That looks perfect. And we have already buttered our pan.
Okay, and we're just pouring it right
I'm
in.
gonna pour that right in
How long are we cooking this?
till it's done.
Okay.
But it's gonna take about an hour with this one being this full.
Okay.
Now, if you had it about half of that, it would take about 30 minutes.
Okay.
But it really depends on your family and how crispy you like it on the outside.
Personal preference.
It is.
Okay, so that will cook until it's done, but that time can vary.
It can vary.
How do you cook it? Do you like it crispy?
I like it crispy.
Okay.
When you start seeing it to bubble and then it starts to brown on the top, and if you think it's not as done on the inside as you want it to, cover it with some foil
Okay.
until you have it as done as you like it.
Okay.
But it's going to continue to cook after you take it out. So just remember, you don't want to overcook it because you don't want it to be dry.
Okay, so now can we finally try this?
Yes, Katie, are you ready?
Yes. Cheers.
You like it?
There's no words. Thank you so much for showing us that.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate
This
it.
was a lot of fun, Katie.
It was super fun. And now I'll take the rest of this. And we'll see you guys next time in the HomeTown kitchen.